Hello guys, it's me A.D.E, Mr. Africans Do Everything,
And I'm WALE. Hi.
and welcome to edition of A&W podcast.
Yeah.
On to today's topic of things, we're going to be looking at the education system in the UK,
Yes.
whether it's important for us or whether it's unimportant for us, because as we noticed that in the education system, you are put in this level to study for some grades, and when you get these grades, you're supposed to use these grades to get a job in a sector that you want. But in my community and people that have been to university, I'm not currently using that grade for anything because you know how the system works. So, do you want to start off?
Yeah, I
with
mean,
something?
to kind of like touch on that a little bit, we're talking about the education system in general and how effective it is within our community. And to kind of like elaborate on that a little bit, we're talking about going to uni, getting a degree, and actually not being able to get employment within the field that you actually studied, which is something that's been happening for the longest time. And we just kind of feel like we need to look into that and identify things that might not be working for us. Because don't get me wrong, studying education is very important, but at the same time, is important for the day-to-day life skills. You know, like for example, when I was in uni or when I went through my education, I was not really taught anything about financial independence. I was not taught anything about the importance of building your credit score. These are things that is quite important and useful for life skills. I mean, I did the whole studying maths, studying biology, chemistry, this and that, but when you think about it, like in real life situation and in your work environment, you rarely use these things. I mean, don't get me wrong, people that specialize, like doctors, scientists, that's fine. Education is good for them. But in terms of when we're speaking about general education, where it seems like it's a system that's outdated and it's also flawed. So hopefully with this, we can kind of like figure out a way to sort of direct our children in the right path.
Yeah, you're right about that because when it was my turn to, when I finished my secondary school, I kind of figured out that I wasn't meant for classes. So I have to be thinking of something creative. No, don't get me wrong, I love studying because when I was back at home in my country, everything I was doing, I was getting first class, first class. But when I came here, everything just seems so difficult. English that I thought I was smacking in my own country, it's now difficult for me. I'm getting this kind of results. So I decided, when I finish my secondary school, I'm gonna go straight into work, and which I did. I enjoyed that because I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be out there, but it got to a stage in my life that I was thinking about, okay, the rest of my brothers have graduated from uni. You understand? Why don't I do it? But I didn't want to do what my parents wanted me to do. They wanted me to do something else. I was thinking, okay, if I'm gonna go to university, I want to go to university for something that I know that I will enjoy doing.
Something you're passionate about.
Yes,
You know?
understand. Not you're meant to be a lawyer, but daddy, I want to be a footballer. No, you want to be a lawyer. You understand? So I decided to go for film studies. You understand? Because that's the passion that I've always had from very young age, like looking at TV, how they're creating the image behind it. So I wanted to know how that is being made. So I went to university and I studied and I graduated with a 2-2 with my qualification on film studies. And then since I've come out of uni, I haven't been able to get a job in a proper film company or film anything. But from my hand job and freelancing,
Yes.
don't let me be freelancing. You see, it's been long I've been to uni. Freelance work. Managed to make myself useful. You understand, like survival of the fittest, as they say. So like I might not have a big movie on the cinema or something, but I've actually helped other companies, other people You understand? Build their business, and also we're also building our business right now because this is what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we might not be getting paid for it yet, but
It's the passion behind
it's the
it.
passion behind it that makes you want to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes education system might works for some people and might not work for some people. You understand? But you have to find out if that's what you really want to go for. If you want to go for that, you go for it and don't stop and no excuses.
I mean, on that subject anyway, we are not discouraging anybody from going into education or studying, but what we need to try to also address is the fact that going into education, studying, graduating, and not actually having employment and owing so much money in student loan is counterproductive, because what that more or less means is by the time you leave uni, you're already in debt. And realistically, how realistic is it for you to get a job that you would earn enough to be able to repay that student loan in short space of time? So these are the sort of things that we need to sort of move away from. Yes, if your parents are able to financially support you to go to university, then it's very important to make sure you go and study something that is, one, passionate to you, two, guaranteed that will bring the returns when you do graduate.
Yeah, that's for sure, definitely. You know, I'm still holding student loan and it's still writing me.
Me too.
Yeah. So before you put your head into that student loan, just know that you're gonna have to pay that off one day or another when you start making money. Mm-hmm. And since we're black, I guess that will be never.
And that's why we're trying to make sure we change that. So
Yeah,
to me personally, I feel like this are the sort of things that we need to put in place. Parents, learn about financial independence. Learn about how to make money legitimately. Learn how to get into trading, online businesses. These are sort of ways that once you master it, you can pass it on to your children. First thing first, teach your kids about credit score. And when I say that, even myself, it's taken me a very long time, and I know a lot of people are still struggling to understand that. Credit score means everything in the UK, or should I say in the West. And for you to be able to have good credit score, that means you've had to have taken out either telephone, credit cards. These are things that it will help you to build that discipline. And in the process of building the discipline, you'll be able to at the same time build your credit score. It's not something that can be done overnight, but I tell you this, that makes a difference, because just imagine you teach a young 12, 13-year-old boy the importance of credit score, the importance of building financial independence. This starts from things like investing in their dreams, letting them know that even though you're going to school to study, you can achieve anything. Sky's the limit. That's the reason why, I mean, from the way we're seeing in the last 10, 20 years, things are changing. We're seeing a lot of our young black boys, young black girls doing amazing things. Some of them are bloggers, some of them are YouTubers, and I guarantee you some of these people didn't even graduate from uni, which means they're already at an advantage because they're already establishing their business, they don't owe student loan, and they can make financial decisions based on their worth, you know?
Yeah, that's very important message that you put out there. So it's important to listen to what your kids and what they're passionate about. Don't just force them. If they say they want to do this, but you said, in my family, we are all lawyers. Yeah, go for it. You understand? But if somebody have passion for something, even with music, like when it comes to Nigerian youth nowadays, no one wants to be lawyer. No, they want to be musicians because they think life of a musician now is the life, you know. So just have to put that creativeness inside their mindset, and also like for example now, if my son grows up and he wants to learn how to do film production, I could show him the easy routes. You understand? Passing on the talent, passing on the stuff. So and if any of my nephews or people, family members want to learn as well, the same thing, I'll teach them.
Yes. I mean, from my own personal experience, I studied marketing at uni. Fair enough, I've not worked in marketing field for some years now, but the fact of the matter is, me studying marketing is something that actually shaped my way of thinking, especially in any sort of like business opportunity or business situation or even in working environment. My way of processing or my thought process is always marketing based. And I feel like this is a lifetime skills that I feel like, fair enough, I might not be working and earning within marketing field, but I've been able to create online business. I've been able to do social media and actually make money from it. I'm involved in PayPal, eBay. These are things where you'd be amazed what you can become buying, selling. Before you know it, you'll be doubling your money. You know.
So is it important the education system?
Okay, to kind of summarize on that, this is how I see it. If you come from a work to do well family where the financial backing is there, like how my brother mentioned earlier on, like if your family is pushing you to be a lawyer and your granddad was a lawyer, your dad was a lawyer, your uncle's a lawyer, your family's got a law firm, of course, go into it. Same as if your dad, your mom, your granddad, all of them are doctors, nurses, and you guys have that link to make sure that when you do finish studying, you're not going to be begging people for a job. You would already have something in place. Go for it. But in terms of you don't have the financial backing and you don't have the expertise in terms of I want to be a scientist and I'm going to spend all my time to do it because I believe I'm that great. I'm sorry to say, but let's be realistic. I wouldn't advise anyone to owe student loan. Not even just student loan. When you go to uni, there are other things that come along with it. Banks will start offering you that they know clearly you cannot afford this. They'll give you loans, they'll give you overdraft, and before you know it, within 4 years of going to university, you'd be owing nearly £50,000 with absolutely nothing to show for it.
No cap.
So to just kind of like put it plainly, only go to uni if you have the right backing in place.
Yes.
The saddest thing is I know a lot of law graduates that are struggling to get jobs in law firms. The reason why is because a lot of these law firms are family oriented, which means they won't bring outsiders in. You'd have to be extra great, which I'm not saying we can't be, but just imagine how disheartening it will be for a child to go through the whole education system just to now be faced with the reality after owing so much debt that, oh, it's a setup.
Boy, so this episode of
Yeah,
AW
we have to smile a bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's sensitive,
Yeah,
but it's to kind of show us that yes, it's all good to push our kids to go to uni, but let's not make it an escape route for them. Let's make it something that would shape their future, make them something great. Me personally, I've concluded that going to university is a personal achievement for me. And it's something that I can hold my head high and say to my children, yes, I went through the studies. I mean, currently, my teenage son is already saying to me that he doesn't even want to finish school to go and get a job. He's already establishing himself, designing, like opening a designing website, Instagram page, setting up his own label. These are the sort of things that would change the narrative, you know?
As they say, break the generation curse.
Right? Yeah, because we need to break the generation curse.
Yes.
We can't be going into debt over and over again because sometimes the saddest thing is we even pass this debt on to our kids. Yeah. You know? So yes, guys, it's sensitive, but we are very, very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So in as a way to advise people with teaching your kids how to learn about financial independence, guys, trading is something you need to get your children into. You know, get them to understand the importance of putting money somewhere, saving it, let it come back, not necessarily in a bank. You know, there are many trading apps. You've got eToro, you've got Coinbase, you know, you've got crypto.com. These are places where you can sit with your child. They've got the phone, you download it, give them the access to it, and just get them to start seeing how numbers play. When they start seeing numbers move up and down, something might just spark an interest. So imagine if they have that advantage before going to uni, they might decide like, okay, I might be in uni, but I could go into studying trading, stock trading, economics. These are things that will teach you the way the economy is going. So imagine now, guys, if let's say 20 years ago, someone had it in their mind that some of the things that we're enjoying now in terms of like phones, apps, cameras. Imagine if someone had it in their mind then at such a young age to put some investment or to create something then. They'll be millionaires now. So we need to start teaching our kids to understand the way the world is moving in terms of technology, like economics, so that they can understand and prepare themselves for the future.
I think that's it at this episode.
Yes.
Any more info that you want to give out there?
No. I'm not going to do free promos to all of these apps.
Yeah.
You know, but it's to just give an idea of ways you can go about changing the mindset of our children. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to move them away from that fast life, fast money. It's all about longevity.
Jeez.
You know, they have to be thinking they want to see themselves when they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s. And the only way they're going to make it through all those years is by having things in place that will leave legacy, you know?
Yes, so I think that's it at the end of episode of A&W podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the topic today that was message to us to look into.
Yes.
And so we will be taking more topics. If you have anything to say, just leave it under the comments on YouTube and we shall get back to you.
And guys, thank you very much for those guys that have recently subscribed. The guys that are leaving comments, we really, really appreciate it. And we look forward to reading and hearing so much more from you guys.
Yes, so my name is A.D.E, Mr. Africans Do Everything.
And I'm at WALE, aka Walls.
Peace out.
Take care.